Game number, what? Third map was merry-go-round? Looks like we got the wrong map. You cannot click on a DT while it's in production and be brought to it on the minimap. You cannot. I've done it before. See what's up. I guess we're double checking at this stage to see whether or not this is the right map. We're of course on Deadwing, in case you guys couldn't tell, so I'm a little bit curious to see where things are going to go with that. If you guys want to help me out, you know, follows on Twitter are basically the best way you can help me. That is to say, of course, legitimate followers on Twitter. Best way to follow. He says, I know this guy has banned this map. He says, I remember. Unit stab, basically the same thing. Okay, gotcha. Okay, sorry, it's correct. Go. Alright, so it looks like we're on the wrong map. This could actually work against Snute just a little bit. But, I mean, I believe we're gonna maybe play this out, see who wins this best of 3, and then we'll see where things go from there. Alright. So everything seems to be fine so far, but wait, what's Top doing here? Wait a minute. Oh, oh my god, is he really doing this? Is he really doing this? Oh my god. Well, the pylon's in the middle of the map. I believe this is going to mean a gateway to Zealots and some kind of a mishy-mashy, what's the word I'm looking for? Cannon rush, if that makes sense. It could actually take Snute out very early in the game. Conversely, if Snute catches on to this early enough, he's going to be able to fight back with relative ease, but it's a little bit interesting right now. He's sending his probe out into just the right direction. Almost as though there's no guesswork coming in with this. Question is, will Snute go with a pool first? It looks like he will. 15 pool. That's a little bit irrelevant to the mission of Top. He's just like, I just want to see where you spawned, and he's figured it out, but he doesn't know if there's anything standard or silly or anything else going down in between. All right, and there it is. There it is, the forge. Yeah, but oh, guess what? There's no getting past this. Snoot's gonna see this coming. He's gonna see this coming. There's gonna be almost no stopping it whatsoever. All right, no. What's the word I'm looking for? I would say there's no stopping it, but definitely it's gonna be difficult for Top to execute because that Overlord's going to see everything. Going to see this pylon right here. There are Lings in production, but only 2 defensive Lings, and that's it. Another one on the way. He still hasn't seen the pylon here. Oh my god, there's a cannon on the way. There's another cannon on the way. Zealot's going to start working away at this. Oh man, there's more Zerglings in production, but I don't know if we're going to see this, you know, even feasibly held by LiquidSnute. This is a very difficult position to be in if you are a Zerg Zoro from Norway representing Liquid. Here we go. That hatch, I feel there's no saving it. I really do think there is no saving it. Gets canceled. Okay, so that's basically the best thing that we can see Snute do in this position. And I feel like every single game that we've seen here has not been, like, not really cheesy, but just, how do I say, spectacular in its own way. And this is definitely the highlight of this game. So now Snoot's going to try and break down the rocks, but guess what? The Zealots aren't going to let that happen. So they're just going to sit there, be comfy. And the Queens are going to eventually spread enough creep to let Snute do something. He's now going for double gases. I think this could be. I think the only viable follow-up coming from Snute would be Nidus Swarmhost all-in of some form. Would be one of the most viable, one of the most viable things to do at this point. But mind you, this is done. This is executed on one base. Snute prevents that probe from going in there and getting any vision. The mothership might be, excuse me, the mothership core might be a different story. Depending on where it is presently. I don't believe there is one. Because, yeah, that's right. The cybernetics core hasn't been done. It hasn't finished yet, so there's no way for him to actually go out and scout that. Thus far, though, I mean, like, that's a fully saturated single base that we have. Fully saturated single base coming from our Zerg LiquidSnute. I like the way he's using the queens to actually shoo those zealots away. 2 queens versus 2 zealots. I believe 2 queens win that fight hands down. And roaches are on the way as well. Just a handful, but what on earth are they going to do? What role will they have in this game? I think we're going to see Snute throw down a Nidus Worm here, maybe. Lair Tech is about to finish up. He's getting dangerously close to 200 gas. And that's all you need to throw down a Nidus. 200 gas and I believe 200 minerals? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? 250 gas. He's floating more. Just going to break down this, all this, and he's just going to continue to play macro, or at least try and give off the feel that he's playing macro. But top was temporarily supply blocked. That is still now. So there's no getting around that. And third base almost immediately goes down at the 7-minute 39-second mark. If we look at what was sacrificed by our Protoss, excuse me, yeah, our Protoss there, compared to what our Zerg had sacrificed, like, it goes without saying that Snute, he's in the gutter on this one. He's definitely pretty far behind. This base went down 20 seconds ago. 6 minutes, 14 seconds ago it went down. So ZooTop had a clear advantage there. It goes without saying, basically. Okay, so the natural is fully saturated. We see gases going down at I think this is an early-ish time to be taking gases for ZooTop, given the stage that he had, thrown down all that tech at. But the question is, where does he go from here? Swarm hosts will be the answer for Snute. I can appreciate that decision as well, because he's got a lot of gas stacked up, but he's going to need more minerals, I feel. And for the time being, I don't know if there's too terribly much else that's happening. Oh, well, never mind. It is about to be, okay, third and fourth gas is going down. And I imagine right now we're going to have that's what I'm looking for, just the third getting saturated. Of course, Snute getting very close to supply blocking himself. He's going to go ahead and make 3 overlords. He's going to need some... he's definitely going to need some swarm hosts in the mix as well. Actually, I guess you could say get a full-blown defense, and that's kind of a miracle that this pylon wasn't spotted, if you will. Okay, so Snute coming back home. I don't think he's quite aware of just what he's facing off against. We are going to see, of course, our Phoenix come in here and see just what is up coming from Snute. And that is the question. What is to be done at this stage if you're LiquidSnute? You're making swarm hosts. I think that could be as one ticket to saving the third base here, to be perfectly honest with you guys. They've already burrowed, and this is where ZooTop's like, okay, well, maybe I can fight them, maybe I can't. And he's just going to maybe back off of that. Nice. Does catch the pylon. But everything else, it looks like, okay. This is actually a pretty good exchange for our Liquid Zerg, to be perfectly honest with you guys. There we go. More and more swarm hosts and more locusts are coming out, and ZooTop has completely missed the timing that he needed to hit in order for this to really become, what's the word I'm looking for, ultra effective and in his favor, if that makes sense. Pylons under attack, and whenever pylons fall, guess what? That means Protoss is supply block, typically, but not in this particular instance. So for the time being, we're gonna see LiquidSnute. I'm looking for. Basically, just work his way across the map gradually. I think he might be kind of misreading the situation that he was in previously. How do I say this? I think that he might think that his opponent has a third base when in reality he does not have that third base. He's got a Robo, alright, so I like that. And he's also got a Warp Prism on the way. There we go. Look at that. It's going to be landing right there, I think. At least it could. It could. I think there's a viable opportunity for it to land right there and just force field everything. There we go. Getting pushed back. Getting pushed back. Okay. So, again, Snute just poking his way across the map. He's getting a fourth base, and that's gonna put him ahead of ZooTop, to be perfectly honest with you guys. This late, we see it going down the Robo. I can't be too terribly critical of that, but I mean like the robotics. Looking for the robotics bay is going down in the background. And that's going to allow him to get Colossus out. When you get 3 Colossus out as Protoss, or 4 Colossus out as Protoss, that's when you typically start to see all of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Focus, really. Now we have 2 of them on the way at the same time. 2 Colossus on the way at the same time. So we see, I think this is going to be a pretty good attack here coming from LiquidSnute. That's a ton of Zealots in the main right now. If we see both of those Spires get picked off, then Snute's going to be in a lot of trouble. And I think he could actually get away with getting this. There we go. Both of them. One was canceled, one was destroyed. So this is not a good day to be Snute. There could be another Warpin that comes in here and does an absolute ton of damage to the other guys. Excuse me, not the other guys, but everything else that's here. The Warp Prism does finally fall. Queen shuts it down. Swarm Hosts, Stalkers, everything else in the main, just harassing everything that they can. Zealots are going to try and ignore those Locusts and go for the mineral line. Not quite working out. Behind us, Twilight Council, and more Colossus are on the way. Oh my god. Moving out on creep. He's so pen out for Colossus that he actually only now has the game's first observers, if you will. 2 more Colossus, and then we can begin to see, I guess you could say, a safe-ish push come from ZooTop. But again, that's difficult to say. Alright, so in the main, I'm a little bit surprised considering we only have a couple of patches that are even close to mining dry, but there are drones that have not returned to work yet. There we go. And I mean, right now we can see that Snute has a clear read into the fact that his opponent has got double Colossus production. He doesn't know exactly how many are coming out from ZooTop just yet, but for the time being, it looks like, oh man. This is a position that Snute is really fighting from the, I guess you'd say, underhand to some extent. When you see a Zerg at more or less the same supply as a Protoss, then Protoss is already ahead typically. That's one rule of thumb, unless of course we're talking about, say, Hydras going up against Phoenixes. Even then that can be done, I think, with Graviton being, let's see. Unless we're talking about, say, Hydras versus Void Rays, something situational like that, extremely situational, or Lings versus Probes, for example. All right, so I can respect this decision coming from top, and it looks like he's gonna try and go for it. But Snute was very well aware of it from the very beginning. All of those locusts are going forward and causing so much damage here to Snute's army. Just a little bit, but Spine Crawler is there to reinforce as well. Force Field's going down, locking out a lot of those locusts now, and the Spine Crawlers are all completely forfeit here. I think if it's any game that ZooTop could win versus Snute, it would definitely be this one. Sentry's kind of locked behind their own force field for the time being, but everything is looking okay thus far. For Colossus, that's all you need, and it looks like that's exactly what we have Top going for right here. 6 Colossus now all together. He's got it. He's got it. He's pushing in here, but the Vipers have hit the battlefield, and the Colossus are getting gripped, if you will. They're able to poke through all of the Spine Crawlers with very little trouble. Oh, there's 5 Colossus now remaining out on the battlefield altogether. More and more Stalkers warping in. The energy from those Vipers is inadequate. Not enough to actually pull anything, but there's a huge Mutalisk switch coming in behind this. Blink forward here now from ZooTop. He wants to take down as many of those Swarmos as possible. 7, 8, 9, it looks like so far. Amazing. But I don't know if there's enough anti-air here to cope with the Mutalisks that are coming from LiquidSnute. 188 supply to 152. He's got to do it, and he's got to do it sometime soon. There we go. Blink forward. A little bit overzealous there, as we do have Locust popping. And not only that, but a Blinding Cloud going down on top of a lot of those Stalkers. They are now on the retreat. Look at this. This is something that he cannot do. And it looks like Snute might just pull out the victory in game number 3 as well. 200-200, constantly maintaining that, you know, spinning out of control economy. And Top doesn't want to go to losers bracket. He doesn't want to face off against Puck. But it looks like he might have to, actually. I don't think he'll be facing off the loser versus Puck, but maybe a loser of a different set. This is, I think, no coming back, no return, point of no return from Snute, or rather not Snute, but Top. Just really, Snute is staying on top of his game. He knows what he's doing. In fact, he's got Slowlings in the mix. I think he was so desperate to hold that. The Mutalisks in their magic box on all these Archons is amazing, and now there's no hope. Top knows it. He types out GG, guys.